is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It's a new week here in the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you, back in the usual Monday time slot and coming off of a weekend of Oregon athletics. It only feels right to be back in the chair on a Monday where things are continuing to ramp up around the Oregon athletics scene, where Oregon soccer just completed their opening weekend at Pape Field, and Coach Tracy Joyner remains undefeated, a 1-0-1 record as Oregon won 4-0 in the opening game on Thursday, and then last night going up against a talented Portland team. The Ducks ended up drawing the Pilots 0-0, where it was a physical game between the two in-state rivals. It felt like there was a level of physicality on the pitch that was exciting to see for this Oregon program. We'll hear from Coach Joyner later in the show breaking down that matchup against an in-state rival that historically Portland has been good against Oregon, but in the last 5 matchups, Oregon has not lost to Portland. The Ducks are starting to gain some of that in-state reverence on the soccer pitch, and that, especially under Coach Joyner, I think is very exciting to see, especially with the brand of soccer that was played, where Oregon had a few chances. I'm sure Coach Joyner would say, and probably will say coming up later in the show, that Oregon probably could put away a chance early in the first half, but in totality, it felt like it was another positive result for the Ducks on the soccer field, as now they will go on the road to Hawaii to go and play against two teams that Coach Joyner's pretty familiar with, Sacramento State and Hawaii on the road. Good first road trip if you're getting to Hawaii. I'm a little bit jealous. I wish that I was also traveling with Oregon soccer this week, let me just tell you. But not only was it Oregon soccer game week and getting into the rhythm of things, but also Oregon football. They continued to be out on the practice field at Autzen Stadium, well, the game field really, at Autzen Stadium, while they continue to tune up for opening day and kickoff that's coming a Saturday from Saturday. So we're within 2 weeks. Yeah, we are 12 days away from kickoff at Autzen Stadium, and Oregon is continuing to move through their scrimmages. They had their second scrimmage on Saturday, and, well, if you listen to the show on last Monday where Coach Lanning broke down scrimmage number 1, well, then you know that the defense was the better unit that day. Well, this Saturday, it was a different story. It was a competitive practice, a competitive scrimmage, but one that saw some more offense and some more proficiency driving the ball and sustaining drives down the field. That's what Coach Lanning will tell you in his breakdown of the scrimmage number 2 for Oregon football that happened on Saturday. It's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, better cancer care close to home. Coach Lanning breaking down the second scrimmage for Oregon football that took place on Saturday. Here's Coach Lanning.
All right. Good work today. Probably the exact opposite of last scrimmage. So offense had a really positive day. Ran the ball well. Started off the scrimmage with a 13-play drive, and we were able to cap that off with a score. So really positive day by them. We protected the ball. We didn't throw any interceptions today, which is a big positive. On the other end, defense made them go the long hard way. Right? They didn't create a ton of explosive plays, but they were able to move the ball with some success. But overall, really good back and forth and good scrimmage.
with the offense having more success, what did Dante do that stood out to you today?
Well, like I said, protected the ball. None of our quarterbacks threw a pick today. They were all pretty efficient. They checked it really well, took what was there, used their legs. So overall, a positive day for the quarterback room.
But before the last scrimmage, you put a lot of emphasis on the scrimmage. You showed clips of older players performing well at these scrimmages. With putting so much emphasis on these scrimmages, how intense have these past two been this year?
Yeah, good. I thought we had good energy throughout the day, really back and forth for both sides. But yeah, it's important, right? It's our closest thing to a game-like, type atmosphere for us as we go into the season.
You've talked a lot about the player leadership these past couple of days as well. And when a defense sort of makes the offense go the long, hard way, talk to me about the player leadership that you saw from the defensive end just to keep everybody in the same mindset, just to keep everybody still on page.
I don't think it's anything unique. Just ultimately it's about the next play, right? Everything for us is about the next play. And like I said, offense really won the day. They had some success today, moved the ball effectively, and we got to do a better job of tackling and stopping the run. But looking forward to watching the film. But I thought the leadership was there on both sides today.
How much, if any, separation are you seeing among the outside corners at the top right now after these two scrimmages?
I think we're identifying that we got more than one guy, more than two guys, more than three guys that can play winning football for us. So, my goal is always to find how many guys can we have that can play winning ball. And we've got some guys, I think, that are growing up fast, that don't have the experience, but they have the talent, and then some guys that have a little bit of talent and experience both. So there's a group there that I think more than two guys can play for us.
I know last week you said that you can name a receiver on the roster and any one of them would have a big play. Have any receivers kind of separated from the others, and what would it take for a receiver to separate for more playing time?
Yeah, you guys know I never answer these questions, so they're playing good, right? They're playing good today. Corian, Kenyon, Casper, Hill, Bryant, they all had some big receptions, right? But they're all playing well and they're playing winning football.
How much has Djax been able to take part in these scrimmages? And if he has, just how has he looked when he was limited in the spring?
Yeah, got to go watch today. He played a little bit before he played all day today and was able to be a part of it. So I'm excited to go watch the film and see how it looks.
Anything from special teams stand out after last week's 60 ball, anything like that? Or
We didn't have any of those today. No, didn't have any of those today. I thought our coverage units were better, which we walked away from the last scrimmage frustrated a little bit with the way we covered kickoffs and the way we covered punts. I thought both of those were better today, but no 60-yard bombs.
2 weeks left. We're coming on to getting close to week one of the regular season. I would imagine things start to intense in fall camp. Is there anything from a mindset standpoint that you are specifically looking for as we get closer to week one of the regular season?
Yeah, and I told the guys today, don't worry about Montana State yet. I'll tell you when it's time to worry about Montana State, when it's time to worry about game one. We still got a lot to fix for us. We got to go evaluate what just happened in this scrimmage. And then from that, decide where we need to improve and adjust as needed. But the intensity in my mind should be the same. It should continue to be heavy focused. And yeah, it's getting closer. They know we're 2 Saturdays away from being out there in Onsen.
What is your perspective, Dan, on Isaiah specifically, of how he came from being where he was and finding himself at Nevada years ago to being an heir apparent here to take over for a first-round left tackle and maybe even going higher than where Josh did in that capacity? Like, how does he go from being sought after as a recruit as he was years ago to being in the position he is here?
Well, I think it always goes back. This guy loved basketball in high school, right? And was kind of a diamond in the rough because of that. Football wasn't his first love, and he's grown into a great player. Obviously did a great job there, and now is doing a great job for us here, but probably under the radar because there's a lot of guys that are that size that play basketball, but there's not a lot of guys like that can play offensive tackle at the level he can play it at.
Yeah, I know obviously there's been a lot of talk about Bryce being a leader on that defense, but I'm wondering how Devin Jackson has stepped up being a leader on the field.
Yeah, he's growing every single day, and it's hard when he's been limited, right? It's tough to be the guy that's telling everybody what to do when you're not the guy that's in the dirt with them and in the action. So seeing him back out there on the practice field has been really good for us so far in fall camp, and he's a guy that, like, his play does the talk, right? And again, I'm excited to go watch the film today to see what he was able to do.
Because of the depth you have at both running back and tight end, could you see using more 12 or 2-back looks by design, Dan, just because of the depth you have at those two position groups specifically?
For sure.
coming off of a scrimmage with Oregon football on Saturday. It is close to a game-like environment. You heard Coach Lanning say that, well, the team isn't yet focused on game one against Montana State, but we are a little bit. I am, because it's coming up in less than 2 weeks. On August 30th at 1 o'clock, it'll be kickoff of the Oregon football season. Then we're really underway and things are going. And can't wait. I cannot wait for football to start at Autzen Stadium and getting the environment like a scrimmage to get in those game-like reps are important to continue the development moving forward so that once we do get to kickoff and opening day, it really looks like Oregon football out there on the field, which, by the way, getting a behind-the-scenes look into some of the scrimmages and the practices and the construction of the 2-Point Mo project, it's been really cool to see. If you have not been following along with the Under Construction series on the Go Ducks YouTube channel, you could be on the Go Ducks YouTube channel listening to us right now, live in the 1 o'clock hour. I'm sure that everybody's already checked out the Under Construction long-form, hard knock style type of training camp videos that have been put together by a fantastic football creative team. But if you haven't, and you're wondering, well, what was that 60-yard bomb that one of the reporters was referring to in the question to Coach Lanning? Well, there was a 60-yard field goal that was made at one of the practices that was on that Under Construction series. So it's a good inside look into Oregon football as we continue to get prepared for what's coming up in 12 days on Saturday, August 30th at 1 o'clock against Montana State, where Oregon will kick off the 2025 football season. Things are continuing to ramp up, continuing to get underway. There were a lot of questions asked to Coach Lanning about the wide receiver room. Well, a day before, we talked with the wide receiver coach, getting to hear how the wide receiver room shapes up after we come back from this timeout. It's Duck Insider, brought to you on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Stuck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday as we are inside of 2 weeks from Oregon football game day at Autzen Stadium. We just heard from Coach Lanning post-scrimmage number 2 that occurred on Saturday. A day prior on Friday, didn't get to air it on the show because, well, it was after the show. But we did get to hear from a new coach in this Oregon program, the wide receivers coach. Coach Ross Douglas. We talked with Coach Lanning about a lot of different things, wide receivers, and what he's looking for guys to establish themselves as key contributors in the wide receiver room, with some key departures from last year's team as pass catchers, Tez Johnson, or somebody like Evan Stewart, who unfortunately is down with an injury. It's part of the game of football. Who's going to step up in that time? Well, there's a lot of options in Oregon's wide receiver room, and we're getting to hear from a new coach on this coaching staff under Coach Lanning and Ross Douglas, who has developed some strong receivers in years past, especially with his most recent time at Syracuse, now here at Oregon, and he's got another talented wide receiver room. What he's looking for in a receiver, Coach Douglas.
For Ross, certainly your job got a little bit more difficult over the last couple of months with the injury to Stu in particular. Just what has the personnel changes to your room, how has that impacted, I wouldn't say preparation similar, but how has it impacted how you have to go about bringing along younger guys who are less proven when you lose?
I mean, football's the next man up game. You know, injuries are the unfortunate part of this game, and Evan Stewart's a great player, but everyone looks at the player that we lost. I look at the young man that we lost. He was a kid who was in my office every morning at 6 a.m., curious about how he could get better, studying other college receivers who are around the same body type and skill set. So that's kind of, I miss that part about him more so than a player, you know what I mean? But he's around, he's in our facilities, he's in the meeting rooms, but football's the next man up game, and a lot of guys are going to get the opportunity to step up and be able to do their thing.
Malik seems to fly under the radar a bit from an outside perspective. What have you seen from him this summer, and kind of what skill set does he bring to your room?
I think Malik's a kid ever since he's been here. He got here a little bit before I did, but throughout the spring and now in training camp, I think he's gotten better every single day. He adds a speed element to our offense, and he can do a lot of things. He can run short to intermediate and deep routes. He's an older guy. He's actually played 787 snaps in his career between Florida State and Alabama. So, guys played a lot of football. You know, his journey's kind of been a little rocky, ups and downs with, you know, Alabama, JUCO, Florida State, but now he's here at Oregon. So, he'll be a positive contributor to this team, and I love working with him every day.
Talking with players and coaches, get a sense of, like, steady rock foundation for Gary, for your guys' room. Just what does Gary bring to the table, and just kind of what does he mean to this receiver room, what he could do?
GB means a lot, not only to the receiver room, but to myself. He's a guy, again, played a lot of football. He was hurt last year. I think he didn't play very much last year. He did in 2023, and then he played 2 years at USC. So he's played a lot of football again, and he's a guy who's done it. He's seen it. He's played in the Pac-12. He's played a little bit in the Big Ten, but now he's a guy with a lot of experience. He knows how to practice. He's the same guy every single day. Like, every morning I wake up, I look at GB, I know exactly what I'm going to get. Like, that's never going to change with him. So it's just consistency and the professionalism that is very key to myself as a coach and to our room, because I can look at him and see he does everything right. He does it the right way and kind of follow his lead. So I think that's what he brings to our room.
Got to ask about Corey and what makes him different from other true freshmen you've coached before.
I think Corey, again, I just think the want to and the desire to be a good football player, I think it's there. You know, he's gotten better as training camps went on, ever really since he's been on campus. He's just, again, a great kid, very curious, wants to be good, practices hard, very competitive. He's going to be a very, very good player for Oregon, and hopefully he contributes a lot this year.
When the world on the outside, especially this fan base, has outsized expectations of DeCorian in particular, I'm sure his expectations are even higher. How do you coach and guide that to where it's still within the realm of realistic and not outsized, particularly when it's at the start of someone's career, and just getting started in a realistic way that's not outsized by way of making the moment too big?
One thing I learned from Coach Belichick, he'd always talk about ignoring the noise. So you just got to ignore outside opinions, because at the end of the day, nobody, no reporters, no nobody who makes rankings, they don't play the game. We play the game. So we just got to focus on the process and getting better every single day. And I think he's done a good job kind of just having tunnel vision on what's actually important, like his attitude, his effort, coming to practice every day curious, asking questions, making sure that he knows what his job is, making sure he knows how to run the routes properly, making sure that he competes every single play. That's what's most important. So all the national media and expectations and all that, like we ignore the noise. Like we don't hear that in here. We're just here at work every day trying to get better.
Since you've been here, what's just been your impressions of the development that Dylan and J-Mac have gone through since spring ball, now off-season workouts, now halfway through camp?
I see two young players who are getting a lot better. You know, weight rooms like Coach Love and his weight staff, they're doing a heck of a job with him. I think Dylan Gresham is one of our strongest receivers. J-Mac, he's improved his play style. He's playing more aggressive and more physical and really more confident. But I think confidence has been key for both of those guys. You know, they were redshirted last year. I know J-Mac came in, he had hurt his foot. Then both of them redshirted last year, kind of got a lot of reps on the scout team. But they're more confident players now, and it's showing on the practice field. So they just got to continue on that trajectory.
Kyler told us that after his injury last year, he was pretty down for a few weeks and kind of struggled to get back in that rehab mindset. I know that happened before you got here, but have you seen him attack things this offseason and try to get into a spot where he's really competing to carve out a role?
Yeah, I think injury is a tough part of football, and Kyler's been able to bounce back well. You know, he's out, he's available, he's practicing right now, and again, he's a fourth-year guy, and he just continues, like these other guys, just continue to get better every single day and just come in with the mindset like, okay, what can I attack today? What can I improve on today? How can I become a more trusted member, more dependable today? So I think every day he's just trying to improve at that right there.
If Will goes with more 12 personnel than maybe we saw at least last season, maybe more like 2 years ago, how will that impact how much you're able to rotate or not, or be able to spread guys' reps out or not throughout a game if it's more 11 like we've seen or more 12 than maybe we saw a couple of years ago?
So I know one thing that we're going to do, we're going to put the best players on the field that help us score as many points as possible so we can win games. So whether that's 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 10 personnel, 13 personnel, doesn't matter. We have a lot of capable pieces on offense, and we're going to put the best combination of 5 skilled players out there who will help us score the most points.
Your philosophy of how many guys you want to be able to use during a game or a season, kind of a rotation, and I guess how close are you to that number?
I'm not afraid to rotate guys. If they could play winning football and help Oregon win games every single Saturday, then they're going to play. Whether that's 3 people, whether that's 7 people, it doesn't matter the number. Like, I will rotate you in there. If you can help us win, you're going to play.
Following with that, Dan likes to use the term above the line, below the line. When you have the second scrimmage, last major data point before game start, how many do you feel are above the line right now, and what can they do tomorrow if they're on that fringe to put themselves there and increase that number heading into game preparation?
Hey, you caught me on the wrong day. I'll be able to answer that tomorrow, but right now, I feel good. I feel we have a good amount of players above the line right now, but again, if you're above the line, you got to stay above the line. If you're at the line, then you need to figure out what you could do to get yourself above the line. If you're below the line, you need to continue to get better every day so you can put yourself at the line. Like, I'm just looking for guys who go out there, who could do the job, who compete their ass off, and who can make plays when their number's called. That's what I'm looking for, and a lot of guys have proven they could do that so far, but tomorrow's another opportunity for us to solidify the guys who can and can't do that.
Coach Douglas, getting to know Coach Douglas a little bit as he's still relatively new in this coaching staff, but also very convicted in his football philosophy. Ignore the outside noise, kind of like us and what we're talking about right now, but also be within yourself. And it was really the entire crux of what he just talked about was what can you do to play above-the-line football? What can you do to focus on yourself each individual snap that you're on the football field? And it's going to be very interesting for Oregon this season because this is a unit that lost some production in pass catchers. But also, you look at some of the outside noise and recruiting rankings, which they don't care about, but I do a little bit. And, well, Coach Lanning continues to recruit at an elite level, and now there's a lot of young players that are Coach Lanning recruits that are now stepping up. And are they able to play above-the-line football? Well, that's what Coach Douglas is looking for. That's what we're going to find out in a few weeks at Autzen Stadium when Oregon kicks off the football season. One of those guys who was a Coach Lanning recruit who is looking for some snaps. We already saw some flashes at Autzen Stadium. He could be fixing for some more playing time. We'll see if he gets some. We'll talk to him when we return after this timeout. It's Stuck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best thing you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. It's a Monday. Ryan Milano here with you as we continue to ramp up towards Oregon football season. We heard from Coach Douglas. He met with the media on Friday, one day before the scrimmage, said that he'd need probably another day to figure out who is continuing to step up in the wide receiver room. Well, in that wide receiver room, one of the options to step up is Dylan Gresham, who has had a big game at Autzen Stadium. It just was against his own team. The spring game was really Dylan Gresham's coming out party, you can say, where he scored 2 touchdowns, including a 57-yarder. For me, it was one of the big takeaways of a player to watch and an X factor for this Oregon team moving forward, the way that he performed. And I talked before we went to break about the recruiting rankings and guys stepping up on this team that haven't had as much college football playing time and snaps, maybe like somebody else in his wide receiver room, like a Malik Benson has at a few other schools, but somebody who is incredibly talented, a 4-star recruit. Coach Lanning has now had him in the system for 2 years. Well, what can Dylan Gresham do now after his red shirt, performing on the field next to, well, maybe a true freshman, maybe a few transfers? There's a lot of opportunity in the wide receiver room for Oregon football. The question, can you play above the line? Because as Coach Douglas mentioned, he'll rotate in 7 guys if they can all play above the line. Dylan Gresham, he's made a bit of a name for himself. Now getting to learn more about Dylan Gresham before we continue to move forward towards this 2025 season. Let's hear from Oregon's wide receiver.
You're one of the players who had a real breakout in the spring game. What was it like to kind of be able to show what you can do on this stage?
First, I just want to say, I was blessed to have that opportunity by Coach Doug and Coach Lanning. And, yeah, that's all I got really to say about that.
How would you just describe the last year for you, the development, the learning curve, adjusting to the college game, and just how more prepared are you this time around for fall camp?
I feel like I'm way more prepared than I was last year. Coming in as a freshman, it was hard. Adjusting, learning the playbook, just seeing how the schemes are going. But Coach Doug coming in, really spending the time, having patience with me, it's got easier.
Yeah, so many young guys, so much young talent in that room. What do you do to kind of separate yourself, and what has practice been like every day with that competition?
Going that extra mile, whether it's extra work, just our coach already have a rule like finish 2 lines, pass wherever you catch the ball. Like, so I try to make it always more than 2 lines, like little stuff like that.
Being a redshirt freshman, you know what it's like to come into this program and kind of be thrown into the fire a little bit. Looking at guys like DeCorian and Cooper, how do you think they're handling it so far?
Oh, they're doing an amazing job already. Like, I feel like they adjusted to the system a little bit better than I did last year, and it's really good on them.
It's a really deep group of receivers. Can you just talk about the competition level in practice?
Ooh, yeah, the competition's really hard, but that's what we all like about it. That's why we chose to come here. It's really fun that way. Everybody can get a chance to just do their best, be their best.
You referenced Ross a little bit so far today. Just what's been the impact? What have you learned? How has he kind of helped you develop? And what's just been the time with him been like?
Honestly, amazing. Like, he's a really wise coach. I instantly realized that after first meeting him. He came in already telling me, like, things I need to work on, like the top of my routes and, just little details. And that's what I needed.
You mentioned top of routes, but what are some of the finer points that you've worked on over the last year and last 6 months, particularly with Ross?
With Coach Ross?
Yeah.
Like I said, top of the routes, 90 cuts, just shaping the top of the dig, and just little details like that.
What have you seen from Austin and Dante out there, and just how do you feel like they've progressed and gotten better as fall camp has gone along?
They're both doing really amazing. Like, I see it every day. Like, just their leadership skills, both have grown tremendously. Both of them just walking playmakers, honestly.
People on the outside are going to have questions of the receiving corps, just who's going to step up, who's going to be that guy, maybe not even that guy, but all those guys, because there's a lot to replace. What do you hope to show as a member of this receiving corps starting in 2 weeks when the games start, of just what this receiving corps is going to be in 2025?
Ooh. I said we're going to be really explosive. Like, anybody could make a 5-yard play into a 80-yard play, honestly. That's how I really feel about everybody in our receiver corps. Like, I don't think anybody can stop us.
Iron continues to sharpen iron throughout Oregon's receiving corps. And, well, there are some youngsters in Oregon's receiving corps, and you heard from Dylan Gresham about that development. It's something that I hear so consistently listening to these interviews as players continue to develop more and more. And it can be any sport. It doesn't just have to be football. But for freshmen, the jump between year 1 and year 2 is really the most important in terms of acclimation to the next level. And for somebody who is extremely talented and highly touted out of high school like a Dylan Gresham is, well, that level of development where you're in the room with a position coach now over this period of time, where you have gotten acclimated to playing against other guys that, well, when you're in high school, you're the best player on the field. It's kind of what it is for everybody that's now here at Oregon. But now you're going up against a cornerback that was the best player on the field where he played in high school too, and continuing to develop at that level and learn how to still win when the talent continues to jump, I think is probably the most important aspect of the acclimation from a high school to a collegiate level, and especially a primetime Division I collegiate level athlete like we have here at the University of Oregon. It's incredibly important, the development of continuing to grow as you continue to move forward. And somebody that has continued to grow, not only in their football IQ and their acclimation, but also just in terms of sheer body size and I don't want to be on the other side of the line as that guy, it's Amari Washington, because he continues to grow. And, well, not only is he somebody that has developed through with the game and is learning new ways and new moves and ways to be productive on the interior of the defensive line, but his body is also continuing to grow, so much so that he came in at number 4 on the Athletics Freaks list for the 2025 college football season. That compiled across the entire country. Amari Washington is the number 4 freak in the country. And that just tells you that he's got some physical tools and some physical skills that are incredibly rare to come by. And when you have two guys on the interior of your defensive line, whether it be Bear Alexander or Amari Washington, both of which that have had snaps at the collegiate level. Amari Washington got in the rotation with Oregon last year, but was continuing to learn under NFL guys like a Derek Harmon. Well, now it's his time to continue to step up. And earlier in the week, on Friday, we got to hear from the continuing to develop and continuing to earn a role, now with his time to shine coming into this 2025 year, Amari Washington on this defensive front, which I would not want to run into if I was a running back. Let's hear from Amari Washington.
You got a chance last year to learn from guys like DJ and Jamari. What did you just learn from them, and kind of how do you apply that to your game this year?
I feel like just seeing like just the way they used to practice and all that. I feel like it just kind of not even just them though. The people that came before, like Taki, like everybody that was just like able to be drafted out our D-line room, just able to see the things that they did to like actually be right in front of me to see them apply it in practice and then go show it on game day. It was just like, man, like I'm in here in the same position that they doing, so like why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying?
We know the original origins of Big Mike, but what are the origins of Big Mike and why you're called Big Mike?
Everybody always asks me, but it's like, I feel like when I first went to Arizona, it was like the name just like really came. Like everybody in high school was just calling it, just like really stuck with it. It came from like it's like, I don't even know, man. It's like, it's real hard to like really put it in every frame, but it's like, it's not like a name that I don't like or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't like let people just call me that. I mean, look, this is just the name, man. Like, ain't no look-alike, nothing like that. I know it sounds a little weird. People don't often see situations like this, but it's happening.
What's it been like working alongside Bear and just kind of seeing him ingratiate himself into the Oregon culture?
I feel like dude be aggressive, man. Like, just the way he attack it, though, man. I'm just ready to see how we able to how the season can unfold with the way he worked.
We heard the story of Bear throwing you a baby shower. Just take us into how you felt about that gesture and him doing that for you and just what that day was like.
Yeah, so it was like a surprise. Like, I remember, like, right after I got out the hospital, like, everybody knew I was going because I wasn't at practice. Like, everybody, like, wondering where I'm at. And I'm like, I'm at the hospital trying to make sure the baby right and everything. And then they tell me it's somebody spoiled it. Bear was trying to keep it a surprise, but then somebody spoiled it. And I'm like, dang. So we just all go up to his house. I see the whole team and everything. They got, like, a lot, like, heck of gifts. It was just like there on the table. It's like enough to probably be enough for like 3 kids. And it's like, man, it's a blessing to have this. And like not many people, like especially where I'm from, like not many people was able to have this type of stuff for a baby shower. And it's just a blessing that I was able to be in this position for people to give me this for my child.
Just going down the line a little bit, how's Mateo improved and how has Tatum improved in your time here and coming into the season?
I feel like coming in as freshman year, I feel like we all came in like as freshmen. I feel like like watching the film from my older seasons, like they didn't look as big. I feel like these dudes got like big, and not only did they just get big, they threw in the technique and the work ethic to go with it. And they even trying to bring up the younger guys to come with them, and it's just like seeing them able to fight more and more to becoming a better leader.
You have any idea what the Freaks list is, and does it mean anything at all that you were named the number 4 freak in the nation by The Athletic?
When I first saw it, I mean, it wasn't really like a thing for me to just like look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to talk about it, yeah, woo, but it's like I ain't really did nothing yet. So it was like, I gotta go apply it. If you want to really see a freak, I'll show y'all. And I ain't even trying to be on that though.
Do you have a frame of reference though for like a 36-inch vertical for a man of your size, like how that compares?
But what do you mean though?
For guys in the NFL, for example, like if a man of your size is going to do some of the things that you do, how rare that might be, or who some of the guys who can do the things that you do, who they might be, because some of those things are very, very rare.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's things that like come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be strong, fast, all that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, especially going to the next level, I feel like it's a lot of talent up there. But what's going to really separate you is the technique that you use to go in there.
What have you seen from some of the younger guys like Jericho, Terrence Green, just guys who are going to need to step up into a bigger role this year? What have you seen from them?
I mean, I feel like, Terrence, he not really young. We about the same age. We came in at the same time. But Jericho, I feel like he throwing some flashes out there, man. He just got to stick to it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like once he get an understanding to be what it's like being out there in the water for real, yeah, I feel like he'd catch on to it. I don't think it'll be something that'd be too far off for Jericho. TG kind of already got an understanding of what it's like. He's seen the same people that I saw get drafted right in front of us. So I feel like he got the same type of example right in front of him to see how to attack it. And I feel like he's been attacking.
A lot of new faces on the offensive line. Just curious kind of what those battles have been like this offseason and if you're getting used to that new group.
I really like it though. I feel like we got some good guys to come in. I know they're gonna go out there and be a dog, man. I feel like we really been sharpening the iron. We've been making them work, and they've been making us work. And I just like how we can go back and forth with it. And I feel like we're gonna really make something special with the way we work.
When you've been patient and you've waited your time behind some guys, and now you're 2 weeks away from having that opportunity that you've been waiting for, just what is the feeling? What is it feeling every day of like, yes, you've been working towards something, but that something's coming around like.
Man, I'm just stay down to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whenever it's time to come up, I'm just going to come up. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to look up. I'm often always told to just avoid the distractions. People going to tell you how good you can be, how good you are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter until you go out there and show the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do something good last year. It doesn't really matter until I do something again this year.
That's such a great mindset by Amari Washington, continuing to prove himself throughout the course of this fall camp, entering into game day coming up less than 2 weeks at Autzen Stadium. Also a great story of the teamwork and camaraderie and the connection that was built off the field by this defensive line room. Amari Washington, he had a child, a surprise-ish baby shower was thrown for him by the rest of his team, and specifically Bear Alexander. That's just cool. That's part of the behind-the-scenes football stuff that you gain, the type of connection, the type of friendships, the type of relationships that you gain when being on a football team. Yeah, everybody knows the goal, win games, and hopefully at the end of the year you're hoisting a national championship trophy. But the continued development of the bonds along the way is what the guys that are in the trenches that are actually earning those wins are going to continue to remember. And stories like that, those are some of my favorites that are really cool to hear about. That type of teamwork and that type of friendship and that type of bond, super important, as you know, those bonds will be tested on the field coming up on August 30th at 1 o'clock against Montana State at Autzen Stadium when the season starts. A reminder for everybody, if it's your first rodeo here at Autzen Stadium, a lot of the operations are going to be the same. It's going to be different fan dress codes depending on the game. Make sure to check the color schedule so you're updated on the dress codes. If you want to see Oregon football walk out before the game, the March to Victory will happen at the Mashofsky Center 2 hours and 20 minutes before kickoff. There's also so many different photo opportunities that'll be happening at Autzen Stadium throughout the year. The new duck statue that's now been around for its second season. There's a few different murals, the X's and O's that are out on the north side of Autzen, the Mashofsky Center before the game, where you can see the game day uniform, or after the game, if you want to get on the field, fans are allowed access 10 minutes after the game has concluded to get onto the field. Make sure that you're signed up for the marketing emails, that you have your tickets in order, you have a plan. Also, with some construction, obviously, to the new indoor facility, there may be some different traffic routes. The roads should be in order to drive on, but there may be some game day here, game day there, different operational procedures. So just make sure that you are tuned in to all of the different social channels and how you get your Oregon information so that you can get into Autzen Stadium on time for not only kickoff, but also the entrances, and then also, well, as early as the March to Victory a few hours before kickoff. Make sure you're at Autzen Stadium to experience it all this season at Autzen, which is, of course, the best venue in college football. Games are going to happen before we know it for Oregon football in less than 2 weeks. Games are already happening for Oregon soccer, who just concluded their first home weekend. Still a 0 in the loss column. Breaking down last night's game against Portland when we return after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon soccer in action last night against Portland, and a talented Portland team that it has given Oregon trouble in years past, but recently the Ducks have proved stout against their in-state rival in Portland. It was a 0-0 draw yesterday for Oregon against the Pilots. But in the second game under Coach Joyner, the goal to defend Pape and 0 losses at Pape Field. Well, 1-0-1. Yeah, draws suck. They're better than losses, and Oregon looked like a physical and stout defensive soccer team on the pitch last night. Hearing from Coach Joyner after Oregon's draw against Portland yesterday.
Some high-danger chances late. How'd you feel about the defensive effort?
I thought it was big time, like better than Thursday for sure. I felt like we were just had a different mentality, a little bit more discipline, better communication. I think we just battled more physically in a really good way. So really proud to see growth from Thursday to Sunday.
And offensively, I mean, any of those chances you're lamenting, or anything you feel like you could have done to just break through?
Yeah, I mean, the first 2-3 chances we had in the first half, we got to put those away. I mean, those were really, really great opportunities. So I know a couple girls are kind of kicking themselves because it's hard to score goals. It's really, really difficult. We generated really beautiful chances too. They weren't scrappy goals by any means. They were really good build-up plays and nice, slip balls in. So hopefully we just get a little bit more composure in front of goal moving forward. But I was really happy about creating those chances too, though. So
as you said the other day, it is hard to score goals. So does that ever ease frustration in a moment like this, or does it?
No. Yeah. I mean, I think that it was a fair result for sure. In the flow of the game, it would have just been nice to win a game for sure.
I mean, a 0-0 score in a game like this, especially in the later stages, kind of the games where you learn a lot about the team, the group that you have. Was there anything that you learned about the character of the players on your roster?
Yeah, just great mentality. I think that we watched a lot of film the past couple of days, and we were pretty demanding in terms of changing the mentality when in transitional moments. I felt like on Thursday on both sides of the ball, we needed to be way more aggressive defensively in transition and getting into attack. So I felt like there was huge growth that took place. So I was really happy to see that, and really proud of them because it was a big ask this weekend, and I thought they did a great job in training, and they showed up with a very different mentality, and it was very obvious to us on the sideline.
Go on the road now. Just how different's that going to be? How much are you looking forward to seeing how your team responds to that?
Oh, well, I'm very familiar with these two teams coming up on the weekend, so I'm excited to play, match up with them again. I think it's going to be really great for the team just in terms of bonding and building the right environment and culture to get to spend some time away from Eugene and just be together in a really beautiful place also. And we've got some really fun things planned for them. But yeah, I think really good opportunity to, get some road games under our belt before we get to come back here and get another weekend at home.
What was the mentality starting the game today?
Really just coming out and just playing harder. So that was, I felt like on Thursday it was like we were at 90%, and I said you can't win games at 90% against top teams. So really wanted to focus on just following through and not taking plays off. There was lots of opportunities I thought for Weber on Thursday where we weren't tracking runners, we weren't getting forward to support the attack in the way that we should have. So those were things we highlighted a ton on film, and I said you got to do it. It takes what it takes, honestly, and they gotta get involved on both sides of the ball and be more effective and more dangerous and more aggressive, and I thought that they showed up and they did that today.
Was it something that you asked for today for them to be so aggressive throughout the whole entirety of the game? How were they able to achieve that?
Just through, I think, feedback from coaches and from their teammates. One of our values is being resilient and being able to be coachable, and I think what's really nice about this group is they want to learn how to win, and they want to know, they want to put in the work. They're not scared of working hard. They're not scared of feedback, which is a really big positive. And just collectively, when you all believe in the same thing and you have the same common goal, really good things can happen. And I think we're just really supportive of each other right now. We know we're all learning, and it's been really collaborative and really respectful and just fun moving forward. So yeah, I hate tying, but I hate losing more, and so I'm really happy with the result anyway. So it's all good, but they're working for it, and it's really fun to see them. Yeah.
It seemed like Chloe Chase was winning a lot of possessions tonight. Just what have you seen from her in the early going of the season?
Yeah, she was big time tonight. We knew they have a couple really special players in the air, so we knew Chloe was going to have a big game for us. She did great, and excited for her first game back, and she was one of the players that we kind of highlighted just in terms of training and, asking her to essentially just play harder. And I think that that's a learning curve, and we're all learning what that means and what that looks like. And I thought the way that Chloe performed tonight was really indicative of how special of a player she can be for us moving forward.
Why was it important to retain her on this team?
Oh, well, I think her air game, her mentality, in my opinion, Chloe is going to be a pro. She's got all the attributes that you would want out of a player. Just also a good leader, good person, good leader. I think she wants to win. She wants to make players around her better, and she's just very coachable. So, yeah, we're excited about her future.
It was a physical effort for Oregon soccer, but as Coach Joyner just told you, she hates ties, but it is better than a loss. And now Oregon soccer going on the road. I think part of these road trips, especially for a team that has so many transfers from so many different places, it's important for this group to now not only go on the road, but go on such a long road trip like going to Hawaii coming up next week. Starting on Thursday, Oregon will play against Sacramento State in Hawaii. And that's going to be good for the development and the bonding of this new Oregon soccer crew. We're taking a timeout, and when we come back, we're continuing to get you ready for the rest of the week, as well as some new announcements when we return after this on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Closing out Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studio. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday. Joey Mack will be back with you tomorrow. It'll be a very volleyball day as the volleyball season is underway. Starting this weekend, an exhibition against Oregon State up in Corvallis. And then 2 weekends from now, right around Oregon football opening game day, it'll be Oregon volleyball opening match day where Trent Kirsten's squad will get underway for their season and his first season in the green and yellow. Coach Kirsten will be on the show with Joey tomorrow along with Val Johnson talking all things volleyball on Athletic Director Tuesday. Also announced earlier today, a new Oregon women's basketball game will be in action. The first road game that's been announced. If you're not following along on the Oregon women's basketball social medias, they're doing something really cool. They're having the team announce game by game, day by day, with maybe a few days in between, revealing the schedule for Oregon women's basketball. The most recent, the first road game, November 19th at Washington State. That's the first one that's been announced. Continue to check in on Oregon women's basketball socials to get tuned up. A very volleyball day tomorrow and a whole lot of football throughout the rest of the week. See everybody. Go Ducks.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely.